Omaha, Nebraska. Welcome to the Pro Volleyball Federation on Fox Sports 1 as the defending champion Supernovas face the Indy Ignite for the fourth and final time, at least on the regular season, as the playoff picture is certainly starting to take shape. Welcome inside, everybody, to CHI Health Center. Let's take a look at the current PVF standings, and on top, once again, the defending champions, 12-4 and red hot right here. Won 4 in a row and 8 out of 9. Orlando lost last night in Atlanta. We were there. Atlanta, speaking of that, at 11-8. You see how crowded it gets with the Indy Ignite, Vegas Thrill, and the Grand Rapids Rise. Welcome, everybody. I'm Paul Sunderland, joined once again by my partner, three-time Olympian and bronze medalist Holly McPeak. A busy and good week around the PVF once again. Busy for us, like we were in Atlanta last night. But let's talk about the Supernovas. Certainly a different look from last year. The look last season was good enough to win the championship. Are they even better this year?
They have different looks. They have depth. Omaha is really special because we saw a smaller, quicker team earlier in the season. They hit a little bump in the road, and Coach Bird had the confidence to go to a bigger lineup with Batenhorst, Londot, and Pedraza offering bigger size and more stops defensively.
Yeah, they can put up a real wall defensively. Now, for Indy, they're going to be shorthanded for the remainder of the year due to an injury that we'll talk about. Somebody had to step up, and Ajani Teeler has done so, and even more.
Ajani Teeler has always been a special player, but she's blossomed into the go-to player for the Indy Ignite team. Not only has she been putting up blistering offensive numbers from the right side, she is a big block there too, an undersized blocker on the right, but very disciplined with her hands and so quick at the net.
Was absolutely superb the other night in a 5-set win at Columbus. And on the other side, Brooke Nuneviller, all league last year, and she has really stepped up her game. Everybody around the league knows it, especially her coach.
Brooke Nuneviller is an MVP candidate. Her leadership is incredible. I called her earlier in her career when I called her in college. I called her the human highlight reel because 100% effort every play, and that's how she leads this Omaha Supernova team.
Now let's take a look at our Wren Athletics starting lineups. There is Nuneviller, Kayla Caffey in the middle. Emily Londot out of Ohio State has been very good at the opposite, but they have depth there. There is Allie Batenhorst making her first start since the early season, had a season high 22 kills a week ago against Orlando. Caitlin Horde, Mac Pedraza out of Ohio State and Penn State, and Camilla Gomez, really a thrilling player at the libero. Anna DeVere still working her way back from a very serious ankle injury. Lydia Martin out of Oklahoma, the aforementioned Teeler. Carly Scott gets the start at the other outside. Cece Crawford from Wisconsin, also a Badger and a national champion, is Sydney Hilly, and Elena Scott has taken over at the libero for the Indy Ignite at 10-8. Omaha comes in at 12-4, the fourth and final meeting. Omaha has taken the first 3, but not easy. Underway, best 3 out of 5 sets, and Londot, I don't know if Lydia Martin got a piece of that, number 22 in the visiting orange jerseys for the Ignite. Good pass by Batenhorst, and Kayla Caffey registers the first point on the board for the league-leading and defending champion, Omaha Supernovas.
When we talked to George Padgett, the head coach for the Indy Ignite team, he said, look, we want to serve really tough, but we want to avoid Brooke Nuneviller.
You serve anybody but. And an ace serve by Caffey. Dialed up very nicely. Kayla Caffey made the rounds as a collegiate athlete. Started at Missouri, then Texas and Nebraska, and won a national championship. Caffey again, and the service error there.
Service error, point to Indy. Survey number 22, Lydia Martin.
Mentioned this is the fourth and final meeting. The last was at Indy. Indy had a lead in that one on March 13th. Brooke Nuneviller can't keep that ball off the floor. They're going to target Allie Batenhorst, are they not, in reception?
They will, but Indy Ignite serving into traffic. 3 players in that area. I like the location. Lydia Martin going sharp at Caitlin Horde and Allie Batenhorst.
Same area. Nuneviller dives to get underneath that. Londot is slowed. Cece Crawford out of the middle. They know a lot about each other from facing one another in the Big Ten. Nice dig by Gomez, and on the joust. Nice reaction out of the middle. I think that ball's got to come up.
Caitlin Horde all over that defensively. Knew it'd be important to get her hands up and over the net quickly to defend.
Caitlin Hord also played at Penn State and at Nebraska, an outstanding blocking duo. Nice play by Gomez to keep the ball off the floor. Free ball coming to Indy. Good step in by Elena Scott, the libero. And rejected again by Caitlin Hord.
A little bit of a misconnection between Sydney Hilly and Cece at the net for Indy Ignite. They want a quicker connection so Cece Crawford can use her arm.
Here is Mac Pedraza. 2022 was the Big Ten Setter of the Year out of Ohio State before her last year with the Nittany Lions. Perfect pass once again. Crawford off the top, dug by Nunaviller, and blocked by Hord. That ball's got to come, and it will not. Caitlin Hord patrolling in the middle.
Caitlin Hord off to a great start defensively at the net. I believe that's 3 plays at the net. You see Indy Ignite trying to get their middles going, but Caitlin Hord's been a force defensively for the Omaha Supernovas.
Early look at the blocking and the size right now of Omaha. 2.7 blocks per set. That's second best in the Pro Volleyball Federation. Gomez, what good ball control. Not a good set. Londot had to back up on that a little bit. And Ajani Teeler with her first look. Teeler again. Going high flat. Ajani Teeler, number 19, had a fabulous career at Kentucky, and unique because she's undersized at the opposite. She was hugely undersized at the middle blocking position.
A lot of the time at Kentucky, she played out of position, and that's why she's now a full-time opposite and really blossoming, finding all those offensive tools.
Gomez takes it overhand and a good high swing by number 27, Londot. But back to Ajani Teeler, listed at 5'9", 3.6 kills per set, good for 6th best in the league, 43 blocks. And no, she's not a middle, 43 blocks, that's 4th best, and also averages a couple of digs. Having a fantastic year. Back to DeBeer, good block deflection and reaction by Nunaviller. DeBeer looking to play quickly that time with Sydney Hilly and number 14. Missed it out of bounds. How much is the ankle injury? And you were at the national semifinals when she went down with Louisville. How much has that affected her professional start?
Well, obviously it was delayed because she had to rehab it for months, and I don't think she's gained all her explosiveness back, but she brings such incredible ball control to the Indy Ignite team.
Nice play out of the back row once again by Ajani Teeler. And when you look at DeBeer, what her numbers have been, she missed the first 5 or 6 weeks of the season. Her first match was on February 20th, and this is her 9th match overall. Teeler continuing the hot hand that she had versus Columbus on Thursday night in the service winner. Some good service pressure for Indy.
You have to serve Omaha tough if you want to get ahead in the point. And Anna DeBeer, known for her serve. Very good accuracy and pace on that ball.
DeBeer, since she has come back, averaging 2.5 kills per set, was 15 of 41 in that marathon 5-setter. Got to serve tough. You got to live with some errors, but not too many. We have come to our first technical timeout here in Omaha. We'll take a technical timeout at 8. We'll also take one at 16. So the teams will head to the sideline, and so will we. We'll come back right after this. Omaha, number 1 in the league standings right now, coming in with a record of 12-4. Lindsey Krause out of the University of Nebraska, nearby, about 50-60 miles away, as Omaha and Indy are closing out their regular season schedule of 4 matches. Oh, smart shot. Nicely done by Sydney Hilly, a national champion during her wonderful career at the University of Wisconsin. Number 1 in the league in assists per set at just under 12.
Sydney Hilly runs a really nice offense. I'd like her to be more offensive and coming out with the throw down to the middle of the court right in the first set early. I like it.
Very familiar to the fans here in Omaha as she led the Supernovas to the championship last season, the inaugural year of the PVF, and she was the most outstanding player of the finals.
Brooke Nunaviller getting that ball to the left pin, working off the right hand of Sydney Hilly. Got to be really disciplined over the net, low and tight and fast to block that ball.
Typical match by Brooke Nunaviller in their 3-1 win at Orlando, and that was a big one because Omaha had lost the first 2 matches to Orlando. 16 kills, 18 digs. She's in the top 5 in the league in digs, and everybody else in the top 10 is a libero. Lydia Martin tapping down out of the middle.
George Pageant said, look, we're running our middle more, but we'd like more. And that time, Omaha Supernovas had a double block in front. They knew that Indy wanted to go to that middle, but Lydia Martin able to score over the block.
Wearing her color-coordinated Q collar. Unfortunately, Lydia has suffered a number of concussions, and the Q collar, they're designed to take away some of the pressure and protect her from any future
and since she's been wearing
problem.
that, she hasn't had a concussion.
Yeah. I think we talked to her the first time we had Indy, and it's been a while, that she had 5 concussions during her concussing the floor. Boy, the floor here in Omaha might need some protection.
Lydia Martin is so physical in the middle of the net. Watch her get up and just one-on-one. Kathy is a very good blocker, but more turn by Lydia Martin to score out at the middle.
First in the league at a 372 clip. Double sub is on the floor now. Bird Kuhn told us we'd see that. Kelsey Payne, who started the year at the starting opposite position. Londot is there now. Natalia Valentin Anderson, also the starter for much of the season, number 1. Explain the double sub, why you deploy it, and what advantages is it made to
well, one of the things that Coach Bird told us today is, look, we're going to have 9 rotations to start this match with 3 hitters in the front row. And it also gives you signs on the pin with the players that she's put on the court.
That ball just out of bounds. You can see Indy really trying to apply some service pressure. Want to get your opponent out of system. Kayla Caffey started things off with a kill and also an ace as well. Beautifully handled by Elena Scott and off speed. Really good read by Martin.
Elena Scott handling serve receive really well, and if they can do that, Indy Ignite's going to run their middle all night long, and that's the highest percentage kill they have.
Elena Scott has taken over at the starting libero position. Her dig numbers, because she was only playing defensive specialist, aren't among the league leaders, but her passing numbers are 61% good or perfect. And Allie Batenhorst right back at you.
Emily Londot and Mac Pedraza coming back into the match for the Omaha Supernovas. They played together at Ohio State, so have a nice connection. She knows, Pedraza knows exactly what Emily Londot needs.
And Allie Batenhorst into the starting lineup, 6'5". Mac Pedraza is a very stout setter at 6'2". Had a wonderful career at Ohio State and then on to Penn State. Missed that just out of bounds, wearing number 9 in white.
Serving number 19, Ajani Taylor.
There is George Pageant in his first year. Had a little bit of an adventure getting here to Omaha. Flight was canceled and got in last minute. But he is here. And his team is dealing now with the absence for the rest of the season of Lekator Member-Mene, who was in the running for a most valuable player spot before she went down with a serious ankle injury. Good block touch. Batenhorst, right side. That ball set too tight. Smart shot to recycle. Timing not there, out of the back row. Opportunity here for Indy. 6'5", number 14, Batenhorst. That's a good block touch on the outside. And rejected. Batenhorst swatted right back by the other number 14, Anna DeBeer.
Last night, you and I talked about the data across the league. Everybody knows the tendencies, and these defensive schemes and game planning are on point. Disciplined block by Anna DeBeer to end that rally.
We talked to George Pageant about the return of Anna DeBeer, and wonderful to see her back. What an incredible career she had at Louisville. Injured in the national semifinals, severe ankle injury. And that was a poor set to the outside by Pedraza. Londot, no chance. But George Pageant telling us just about an hour ago, when we had a fairly lengthy visit, that every once in a while now you'll see DeBeer. Oh, okay, that's about 90% DeBeer. But I talked to Anna this morning at Serve and Pass, and she told us both she's not there. Here is Teeler. Ball right in the lap of Gomez. Good rip down the line. Allie Batenhorst, very familiar to the Nebraska fans. She spent 4 years at Nebraska with the Cornhuskers before finishing up at USC.
What makes it tough to stop Allie Batenhorst? High contact point. Look how high she hits that ball and away from Elena Scott.
Number 15 overall pick, had a really good year for USC. And Cece Crawford dug by Gomez. Transition setting, not very good right now, I don't think, for Omaha, and a better kill out of the middle. Nicely done. Carly Scott, 6'1" out of Michigan, where she was a two-time All-American, played for Orlando last year. What does she bring to the Ignite and the decision that George Padgett made to put her in the spot of member Mena?
Carly Scott brings stability. She's solid, low air, has the size defensively to present a big block, but we've seen her put up really nice offensive numbers, so stability is the key.
Last 80 swings over the last two matches, 31 kills for Carly Scott. 15-14 is the advantage. Again, we'll have another technical timeout. Pro Volleyball Federation coming your way on Fox Sports 1. Here's Caitlin Horde. Really good middle blocking duo of Kayla Caffey and Horde. There's an example, really good pass. Teeler through the block, that's dug by Batenhorst. And good hustle by Londot. Scott quickly to the outside. And Nuneviller, boy, had to get on her horse to get to that quick set.
But she does so, and really, I mean, that's tough to stop when Nuneviller can get there that quick and work it off the block. But as a blocker, you have to be defensively disciplined with those hands. Slide them over quickly, and Hilly knows it.
Brooke Nuneviller listed at just 5'10", second year in Omaha, part of the championship last year. Helped them take home that $1 million bonus. Scott, smart shot away from Pedraza.
Well done by Indy Ignite, drawing the block inside and the defender deep in the court to pick up that tip.
We have come to the second technical timeout. Opening set here in Omaha. Indy on top by 1. Proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation on FS1. Back in Omaha with three-time Olympian and NCAA champion Holly McPeak on Paul Sunderland. And that shot, that was great work by our crew, because that shot was taken earlier today. It was a beautiful early spring day here in Omaha. We really appreciate it. The pink and blue night, another outstanding crowd at the CHI Health Center here in Omaha. Had a crowd of over 13,200 earlier in the year. Isabel Martin. Martin back to serve. Spent a lot of time in the starting lineup for Indy. Good transition set. Scott down inside, dug by Gomez. Batenhorst out of the back row. Not exactly a pure connection, but good enough.
No, a little off in terms of rhythm, but Allie Batenhorst able to carve it. It looks like she hit a low seam. Yeah, Sydney Hilly did not close to Martin, and Batenhorst snuck it in there.
22 kills, a season high on 47 swings in the 3-1 win over Orlando. That was a week ago. Scott, big arm. Carly Scott wearing number 18 in orange. Good heat.
George Padgett has some talent on his bench, and bringing Carly Scott, who barely played halfway through the season, and then she's been a big factor for them the last couple matches.
That ball just out of bounds. We have to talk for a moment. Really a serious injury, and we wish all the very best to Lecator member Mena. She missed the All-Star game because of an ankle injury. She missed a couple of matches, came back, and then re-injured much more severely the same ankle. What's the impact of the loss of a player like that to Indy?
Well, I mean, all these players have played for a long time, and you lose players, and it's very unfortunate. Lecator was having an MVP season, but if you're Indy Ignite, you look down the bench, you say, guess what? We've got the talent, we can put it together, and maybe we can be better in other ways. Well,
they're very much in the playoff picture. You saw the standings, and we'll revisit those current standings throughout the course of this match. Omaha on top. They're 12-4. Nice play by Martin, both at the offensive end for side out, and now with the block touch. That's a tough chance. Martin made a mistake with that. Got to pull that ball off the net.
Sydney Hilly tried to save it with one hand. Lydia Martin just attacked it a little bit too low. But I'll tell you, defensively against Teeler, Omaha Supernovas have been really disciplined closing that seam, and that's something Coach Bird talked about.
Well, reiterate that conversation. She was emphatic about what she wanted her pin blockers to do.
Coach Bird said, look, we need to simplify. We want you on the ball, and the pin blocker is responsible for closing that seam.
Good pass by Nuneviller. Yeah, Bird Kuhn likes to keep things very simple and straightforward. You always know exactly what her message is.
I think that's what makes Coach Bird a great coach, is the way she communicates.
Emily Landat down the line, second leading attacker all time in terms of total kills at Ohio State University.
Pedraza finds her rhythm. I like this delivery right in front of that 3-meter line, leads Landat, and Landat heat her down the line.
Very close opening set, tied once again. Ajani Taylor skying again, just ripping the fingers off the top of the block.
Ajani Taylor has found ways to score. Teams are scheming against her, trying to take things away. So she's had to get a bigger tool set, and she's really been working on it. That time, Allie Batenhorst reached on the block and opened up that seam.
That's a mistake serving Nunaviller. Ball a little bit too low, covered by Horde. Oh, good block. Chance for Indy to take the lead. Good first contact. Crawford on the slide. Really well done by the Ignite.
Sydney Hilly making some really good decisions in transition, getting those middles involved. Cece going behind her for the quick slide. One-on-one is the matchup you want if you're a setter.
Sydney Hilly, once again, the most outstanding player for Omaha last year in the championship. 3-time Big Ten Setter of the Year and NCAA champion. Studied genetics, I know what that is, but also genomics at Wisconsin.
I don't know
I
what
have
that
no
is.
idea.
We'll have to ask.
I would have, the professor would have said, Paul, don't come.
Wrong class.
Wrong, wrong class.
Please leave.
Nunaviller out of the back row.
One block up against Brooke Nunaviller out of the back row. Indy Ignite want to dig around that solo block. But Brooke Nunaville's got the ball control to just pick you apart offensively.
Nunaviller now 3 kills on 8 swings. Remember, we were told any serve to Brooke Nunaviller is a mistake. We'll tell you why. 58% positive reception, which is very good. Nice pass by DeBeer. Crawford again, adding some offense. Cece Crawford is an expert blocker at the professional ranks, as she was in college. So any offense is really, really good.
I like her volleyball IQ. She
100.
makes plays. They're just using her speed. Smart swing deep in the corner.
Does not get a lot of opportunities, only averaging 1.5 kills, but hitting a 349 clip. So she's scoring points. Nunaviller quickly off the edge that time of Hilly.
Pedraza has found her location, giving her hitters room on the pin. Would love to see them establish their middle a little bit more when they pass well.
There is Caitlin Horde once again. Nunaviller on the year, 3rd in the league in kills per set, 4th in digs. Really remarkable number, particularly in the digs category. Indy is passing the ball very, very well right now. And Carly Scott, boy, is she filled in very, very nicely.
One of the skills, the numbers we see on the stat board are the passing numbers, and passing numbers for Indy were really high. Elena Scott just putting that in Sydney Hilly's hand, and then the fastball out to the pin allows Carly Scott to attack wide.
Working on Batenhorst, good in reception, off speed. Scott is there, but Lydia Martin could not follow up. Carly Scott would like to have that one back. She's a good beach player. She's used to making that play.
Carly Scott was living in LA, playing beach volleyball for a couple of years, and she became really dominant. She's got a fantastic all-around game.
23-22 opening set here in Omaha. Scott, a rare reception error, kept off the floor. Taylor, very hittable set. Oh, and also very blockable.
First of all, Indy was behind in this point, out of system swing. Block moves in for Omaha. Kayla Caffey gets most of that, but Pedraza there for the assist.
Kayla Caffey with a stuff block. And we're tied once again at 23. We're also tied at 19. So very, very close opening set. We've got a break, so let's take a look at news and notes around the Pro Volleyball Federation. Allie Batenhorst, once again, her numbers, Holly, outstanding. That's why she's in the starting lineup.
And she's been inserted just the last couple matches. She had some meetings with her coach. Her coach said, look, this is what you need to do to get on the court. After a 3-day break, she came back on fire in the gym, and it's paid off for the Omaha Supernovas.
Yeah, the Vegas Thrill, who got out to a 7-2 start, and everybody was talking about the small ball in Vegas, but they hit a very tough patch. They lost 7 in a row before winning at Grand Rapids the other night. Georgia Murphy, really unfortunate in Orlando. She was the best statistical receiver in the league. She's out with a devastating knee injury, and we've already talked about the ankle issues for Lekator Member Mene. You're absolutely right, Holly. She, along with Brooke Nunaviller, and we'll name a couple of others, Brittany Abercrombie from Orlando, the leaders for the MVP. Londot back to serve. Tied at 23. Easy serve. Handled pretty well by Scott, going high flat. Carly Scott has got more heat than I knew she did.
Carly Scott is being tested in serve receive and has responded well, taking that first ball, and then we saw her go wide, we saw her go high off the hands. She's got all the tools, and also a big block on that left side for the Indy Ignite team.
Set point number 1, Caffey. That ball was set too low. Pedraza struggling a little bit with her location. Nunaviller into the cross court is dug. Beautiful play by Scott. Right side to Teeler to close out the opening set, and missed it out of bounds. She's asking for a touch, and we might have our first challenge. 2 challenges per set, or an infinite number as long as you're correct, and we will indeed, imagine the first head coach for Indy will indeed request a challenge. That is first referee Suzanne Lowry. Bill Stanley is the second referee over along the same sideline. You can challenge touch off the block, can't challenge ball out of bounds. That's done electronically by Bolt 6. You can challenge 3-foot faults, service line, 3-meter line, center line, and you can also challenge a net touch. Indy is challenging that Ajani Teeler's attack off the right side contacted part of the block. There is Bird Kuhn, longtime assistant coach at Kansas for Coach B, as she said, Ray Bouchard. Yep.
Got it.
Yep.
I did not see it with my naked eye the first time.
Neither did I. Right off the middle finger of number 28, Kayla Caffey. And Ajani Teeler continues the roll. A high flat shot, and just got enough of the fingernail of number 28 to close out the opening set in Indy's favor.
Very close first set. Both teams feeling each other out, but execution at the end, Indy had the advantage.
Back and forth, lots of ties, and finally, the player of the week, Ajani Teeler, with the winner. Our first set stats are brought to you by FICO. The set was won by Indy, 25-23. What do you see here, Holly?
Obviously, hitting numbers better for Indy Ignite. They passed extremely well, over 60%. Omaha's numbers improved as the set went on, but they had the blocking advantage, and we've seen a lot of missed serves so far in that first set, but both teams have to serve aggressive to get the other team out of system.
Pro Volleyball Federation is proud to partner with FICO to champion financial literacy. PVF athletes will engage with the league and its communities to provide financial education. Carly Scott showing exactly what she offers up. Very, very good IQ, good all-around skills with the ball, and more heat than I expected. Very, very good.
And size defensively. Nina Chayic has been really impressive all season long, but she was up and down, and Carly Scott just a little bit more stable right now for this Indy Ignite team.
Indy right in the playoff mix at 10-8, and Omaha leading the table at 12-4, won 4 in a row, 8 out of their last 9. Lydia Martin playing high, good read by Nunaviller. Right back at you by Elena Scott. And that ball, when you're on a roll, sometimes you just close your eyes and swing hard, and it finds the floor, Holly.
Sydney Hilly gets Ajani Teeler a really fast ball in transition, and Omaha's chasing defensively.
Teeler now is 6 of 11 with no errors, and that ball is in. Called immediately and electronically by Bolt 6 out of their headquarters in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Indy Ignite going after Allie Batenhorst. That one, wow, the outside of the line.
The outside of the outside of the outside. Oh. No doubt about that one from Kayla Caffey.
Kayla Caffey, what makes her special is her speed. Not only her speed and her footwork and how athletic she is, but her quick arm. Anna DeBeer is a really good blocker, but gave Kayla Caffey line, and she took it.
That serve had nothing on it. Perfect pass, and Crawford able to put the ball. You just can't do that at this level. You can't lob the ball into play.
No.
That was an emphatic no, Holly. Don't do that again.
Please don't do that again. And Cece knew exactly where Kayla Caffey was coming to play defense and tipped her short.
Here is Teeler, won a national championship at Kentucky and back in the college game in a different role, and I'll explain that in a moment. Londot, and a good read that time by Ajani Teeler, letting that ball go out of bounds. She has joined the staff at Vanderbilt of Anders Nielsen and will be an assistant coach there. Loves living in Nashville, originally from Texas, and so she will be part of volleyball year-round. I asked her if she was going to keep playing, and she said, "You bet." That was part of the deal.
What a serve, flat, right in the seam, down the line. Ajani Teeler feeling it, playing such confident volleyball.
Explain that rule, Holly.
Sydney Hilly is allowed to go up and set that ball. You cannot block the setter, especially when she's in the front row.
Teeler again. Crowd has gotten very quiet, and understandably so, at 6-1. Batenhorst is blocked by Crawford.
This Indy Ignite team, although they're short Lecator member minute, they are so talented. They're young, they're talented, they're feisty. Look at Cece Crawford, known for her blocking, does a really nice job with her right hand closing that seam.
Working on Batenhorst, out of system here. Roll shot, nice play by Scott. Keeping that ball off the floor in reaction by Hilly. Londot. And off the edge and out of bounds. Back to what you said, Holly. I know you meant they're short Lecator member minute.
Yes.
But also Indy is a very short team.
Well, that too.
Relative to the rest of the league.
Emily Londot, I think defensively, if you're left back, if you're Elena Scott, you have to stay wide on that line because Emily Londot has the range to attack it.
Londot, the 6'3", played 5 years, 6'3" rookie opposite out of Ohio State. Working on Scott, a rare missed pass. And what a good swing by DeBeer. That looks more like Anna DeBeer at 100%.
Omaha Supernovas, Londot and Horde. That's a big block on that pin and gives Anna DeBeer some hands to work off.
Come to the first technical timeout of the second set. Anna DeBeer and the Indy Ignite up 1-0 and 8-2 here in the second.
Fans, get up and on your feet. It's time for the Simba Cam. Presented by Star 104.5.
A very impressive crowd once again, and beautifully clad in their pink and blue. This team's got a big following here in Omaha, Nebraska. Welcome back. Indy at 10-8 taking on Omaha, the Supernovas, for the fourth and final time. Omaha has won the first 3, but it doesn't look like it. Indy, in spite of the loss of member minute, won the first set 25-23. What's been the difference here in the second set? They're looking very, very comfortable.
It just feels like Omaha's been off rhythm. Their offense hasn't been firing, and you and I talked about it at the break, but Natalia Valentin Anderson coming back in to set for the Omaha Supernovas.
Reagan Cooper on as well, has been a starter throughout the course of the season, wearing number 8 in white, and that's a pretty good start.
One of the benefits of having Natalia Valentin Anderson on the court is she runs a very fast offense. She's small, feisty, and loves to push it with pace, and that creates a big hole in the block for Londot.
We were talking during the timeout, and we thought that Mac Pedraza was struggling a little bit with her timing and location in that opening set. So I don't think any surprise that Natalia Valentin Anderson out of Puerto Rico played in the 2016 Olympics in Rio is on the floor. Good pass by Gomez. There's a perfect location on the outside, dug by De Beer. Brooke Nuneviller and Anna De Beer are so similar to me. You know, just in how tough they are, how physical they are. Very, very talented all-around players.
Omaha Supernovas have had opportunities to run their middle. I would have liked to see that, but working out of back row, Reagan Cooper goes off Lydia Martin. She's kind of in the popcorn popper, jumped with the first. 23
matches last year, Reagan Cooper did for Columbus. That ball down to the floor once again for Omaha, but back to Cooper. 3.6 kills per set, hit 260 on the year, but did not play. Gave way to Ali Batenhorst in the match last Saturday, which was the most recent competition for Omaha. They've had the whole week off. Survived the blizzard here in the Midwest during that time. That ball can't go down.
First of all, I thought the serve was a little bit easy. And then Anna De Beer uncharacteristically passed the ball over and it dropped.
Yeah,
kind of a shocker all the way around.
Yeah, Anna De Beer having a little bit of a laugh with her head coach, George Padgett. That's something that she will not miss. Here is Sydney Hilly back at the line. Had a big match in the 5-set win over Columbus the other night. I'll give you her numbers. Kayla Caffey, good read by Teeler, but that's going to be a joust. Smart shot by Johnny Teeler. Eyes in the back of her head, and that ball pokeyed by Scott and kept alive by Omaha. That's good contact by De Beer, right in system. Wonderful dig in the backcourt by Cooper. A absolutely superb tip by Nuneviller. The location of that off speed was perfect.
Sydney Hilly tried to touch it, but wow, we saw some athletic plays by Indy to keep it alive. Look at Johnny Teeler back to the net, didn't know what was going on, didn't net, kept it alive, and then Brooke Nuneviller just finds perfect location for this tip.
Right in the middle of the campfire as Londot will go back to serve. Remember, it was an 8-2 lead at the first technical timeout for Indy. Oh, good pass. That serve had some nasty on it. Nuneviller. Teeler keeps that ball alive, but another kill for Brooke Nuneviller, having a big second set.
One of the things that makes Nuneviller hard to stop is the speed she puts on the ball. Really nice location, quick speed down that line. Catches Sydney Hilly.
7 of 15, hitting .467, no errors. Error in volleyball. As an attacker, you hit a ball out of bounds or you get blocked for a point. Teeler, combination play.
Once in a while, Indy Ignite likes to run that combination play, and Johnny Teeler, very comfortable in the middle of the court, runs like a back two and just opens up her crossbody swing.
Boy, the stars that we featured before first serve, good call, Holly, are really living up to it. 6 kills on 12 swings, also no errors. Clean sheet for Teeler and for Nuneviller. Oh, nice tap down. Natalia Valentin Anderson, generously listed at 5'8".
But she's a great leader.
Yeah.
Lots of charisma, one of the best defensive setters in the league. And like I said earlier, she runs a really fast offense, and that could play into this match.
Teeler again. My goodness, what do you do blocking scheme-wise to slow that down?
Well, you want to be low and tight over and then dig around her. You want to close that seam like Coach Bird told us, but Gomez is down that line and can't handle the heat from Teeler.
Boy, and give some credit to Sydney Hilly. That ball was perfect rhythm and in a wonderful spot, and right back to you. Brooke Nuneviller, another kill.
Nuneviller, the court vision, she knows exactly what's available, hits that seam low and fast.
Here is Caffey, had a service ace early on, and the second kill, and the crowd loves it for NVA.
Natalia Valentin Anderson again goes up and rips that ball, no block in front of her. Even though she's a setter, she shows that she knows how to terminate. Good open net opportunity, boom.
Good response by Natalia Valentin Anderson along with Omaha. They trailed 8-2 and have now come back with an 8-4 run. Now trailing Indy just 12-10 after Indy took the opening set 25-23. Yeah, lots of depth. We've talked about it around the league. It's not just these two teams that can change and have a lot of interchangeable parts. Yeah, head-to-head, pretty good matchup.
Go-to players. We knew that Indy Ignite would go to Teeler, and we knew Omaha Supernovas like to go to Brooke Nuneviller, and they've proven themselves.
Well, and you know that both of those players, and understandably so, are right at the top of the scouting report. You know, we need to do this against this. We need to do...
And they still find way.
Exactly.
That's what great players do.
To no avail so far. Brooke Nuneviller, the only player in what was then the Pac-12 with 1,500 kills and 2,000 digs during the course of her amazing career in Eugene, Oregon, coming off one of those matches that exemplifies it, 16 kills and 18 digs.
You see Brooke Nuneviller for Omaha. She was coaching up Reagan Cooper, then she's coaching up Emily Londot, how to play defensively against Teeler. That's the leadership where she's really stepped up the most, according to Coach Bird.
And already very fit, very athletic, but Coach Bird Kuhn, in her second year with Brooke Nuneviller, said that she's taken that athleticism and strength to an entirely different level in the weight room and really paying attention to her nutrition and everything else along the way. On the overpass, Kayla Caffey doing a job at the service line.
And that's really important. You need to put some pressure on this Indy Ignite team. They passed for good numbers in the first set, and that's why they were able to come out on top. 60% to 50% in terms of positive passing, which is a pass at or about the 3-meter line, or even a little bit better. And 60 is a good number. Here's Caffey again. That ball drifts just out of bounds. A break that time. That ball had some movement on it as well as Teeler goes back to the line.
Number 19, Ajani Teeler.
We've talked so much about Ajani Teeler's offense, and rightfully so, but it blows my mind that she's 4th in the league in blocks. Londot down the line, dug by Scott. And Teeler rockets through the seam and down.
I talked about just a few plays ago, Elena Scott playing down that line because Londot loves to turn it down the line, and Elena Scott held her ground, moved in to dig it, and then Sydney Hill feeds Teeler for the kill. Yeah, Hilly is really doing an elite job right now setting the offense for Indy. Block, touch, and that one will fall. In spite of the flying effort by Elena Scott. Scott and DeBeer played together for 4, if not 5 years. You lose track sometimes because of COVID at Louisville. Short serve, good read by Scott. That ball set a little bit tight, covered by Cooper. And, oh, Nuneviller might have missed that. Scott will track it down. Cooper one-on-one against Tilly. Beautiful set to the pin, and Reagan Cooper finds lots of seam to work with. This is a good response by the Supernovas. Number 1 right now in the standings, and the defending champions from the inaugural season last year. And that ball is just out of bounds. That was very, very close indeed. Number 14, mentioned Valentin Anderson out of Puerto Rico, a 2016 Olympian, been a pro since 2006. Londot, I'll say it, young players out there who want to be a middle blocker, just watch CeCe Crawford's hands. Textbook, left hand drop, takes it away from Londot. Indy up 16-13 over Omaha, and they won the first set. First it was Omaha who responded after they trailed 8-2, and now it has been the Indy Ignite's turn. They go on a nice little mini run to recapture the lead at the second technical timeout, 16-13 here in Omaha. Thanks for joining us once again on FS1. Paul Sunderland, along with my partner Holly McPeak. Hilly has been absolutely superb, and what a magnificent block by CeCe Crawford.
De Beer again. Oh, missed that. Luckily, at the technical timeout, Omaha was able to freeze De Beer without burning a timeout. Kylie Murr out of Ohio State, and then Minnesota comes on. She was the starting libero at the beginning of the season. Very capable as a defender. And George Padgett said that Anna De Beer's mobility is still a little bit limited. That ball will go out of bounds because of the ankle. So he likes bringing in Murr to play defense.
Kylie Murr's a spark too. Fantastic passer, and obviously going to make some big digs.
Isabel Martin played collegiately at both UNLV and then finally at the University of Florida. On to serve now. Has played some very strong matches as an outside hitter for the Ignite as well. Good block by Hilly. Teeler on her horse. Nice dig by Valentine Anderson, but not enough on Ajani Teeler. The run continues, having a nearly perfect night.
Sydney Hilly has so much confidence in Ajani Teeler. When they need a kill to end the rally, she's going to bring it.
Back to a 4-point advantage. The crowd getting very antsy again, working on Nuneviller. Londot down the line. Nice dig by Murr. Cooper out of the back row and missed it, looking for a touch. And we may have a challenge. We've already had one challenge, and that was one on set point in the opener. That
Omaha
was
is challenging
Indy.
a block.
Closed out the set 25-23. So we will have a challenge on Reagan Cooper's attack. Out of the middle back. Live, it looked like it was out to me, Holly.
I agree. I did not see it.
You get 2 challenges per set, and if you're correct, you keep those 2 challenges. Challenge, touch off the block, net violation. Remember, all the in and out calls are done electronically. The officials are getting really good at it. I mean, in and out is almost instantaneous, no matter how close it is. And the challenge time is now well under 30 seconds. And that's good for the game, it's good for the players, and especially good for the fans. Let's take a look. Yeah, right thumb. Yeah.
That's why we have bolt 6.
Yeah, that is such a good look. That is really a good look. A micro touch, and the crowd likes it. That's a big play. 2-point switch, because that was the definition of a micro touch. Lydia Martin, the league leader in efficiency, 22 in orange for Indy. Up front with Hilly. Good block touch chance here now for Omaha. Boy, ball set low. That was, look at Sydney Hilly, fired up, blocking her teammate from last year.
Not easy to stop Brooke Nuneviller, and Sydney Hilly is that pin blocker. She sets up the block, hands are over quickly, and she knew she had to make that adjustment. There she gets the block.
First error in Nuneviller's column. I don't like that that's a hitting error. You got to give the block some sort of credit. And another. Wow, straight down by Teeler.
Indy. Block roll, Teeler.
Back-to-back blocks on Brooke Nuneviller, and Indy Ignite go up. Look at Lydia Martin get out there and close, but Ajani Teeler just hovering over the net defensively.
Well, we call that swing blocking, and that was an absolute roof by the reigning player of the week, Ajani Teeler. 31 kills in the most recent match, 35 points altogether.
Talked about Ajani Teeler, the reigning player of the week, but night after night, she brings it. Scoring out of the back row, front row, and I'll tell you, teams are scheming to stop her, and she's still finding ways to score.
I'll tell you, if Ajani Teeler keeps this up, she's got to get into the MVP conversation, as does Sydney Hilly.
I agree. her numbers have put her in that category in terms of scoring points per set.
These players are all very smart, not only on Indy, but around the league. And the Indy players know that the loss of Lecator member Mene could be season-altering, but they're playing at a very high level right now, as evidenced by their 20-15 lead. Kathy, a little bit of a lucky deflection away from Carly Scott.
Carly Scott just a little bit late with her hands on the press, and like I said, Kathy's going to beat you with speed in the middle.
3 hitters all stacked on the left side. Teeler will sprint across to get in position to hit on the right. They ran a combination play, and Lydia Martin missed it out of bounds. They kept Teeler in the middle. See what Sydney Hilly draws up here. Now 20-17. Pretty good pass by Murr. Ball kept alive. Tough chance for Scott, just rolling that ball in. Must have if you're Omaha. Londot down the line. That's her favorite shot.
Emily Londot so good at going down the line. Elena Scott's there. She can bring the heat down the line, but can also turn it away. Watch how Emily Londot gets on that quickly, and the power and the speed of that ball makes it tough to stop.
So timeout is called by Indy, and Omaha certainly not going to go away. They got right back into a very close first set, lost at 25-23, and here we are at 20-18. This week is the AVCA's 2025 Spring Volleyball Officials Appreciation Week. We invite fans, coaches, and parents to join the PVF in honoring our officials for their dedication and selfless service in growing the sport of volleyball and supporting our athletes. 2 of the very best in the business. Suzanne Lowry, she did the NCAA championship, did she not, Holly? You were there when Penn State won that. Sending out best wishes to Katie Schumacher-Colley as she continues her battle with breast cancer. And we hope very, very much on the mend. There's the second referee, Bill Stanley, and the PVF experimenting this year with having both officials on the save side, and Stanley takes care of substitutions and really making sure that the challenges are done as expeditiously as possible. Good pass by Murr, good enough. And you know you're going to go to Teeler. Oh, that ball right on the sideline, dug by Londot. What a dig by Nunaviller. Londot again, going off speed.
The crowd coming alive. Omaha's on a 4-point run.
Another very close set between these two teams. They went 5 sets the last time they played, and Omaha came out on top 15-13. Working on Murr, very much. Teeler down the line, what a dig in the middle back. Beautiful dig by Cooper, and then through the block and down, and we're tied.
The defense right now of the Omaha Supernovas have stepped up. Reagan Cooper playing middle back comes up with a huge stop on Ajani Teeler, who had seemed to work through. And then Nunaviller with the answer, fast off the hands.
That was a really classy read and dig. Tied at 20. Lydia Martin, heavy arm for the rookie out of Oklahoma.
Sydney Hilly going back to her middles. They went away. They've been going pin heavy because Ajani Teeler's been that hot hitter on the right side, but this is a really nice feed. Only 1 blocker in front of her. Lydia Martin crushes that down the line.
5th kill for number 22, and that was absolutely critical. Working on Cooper, and a pretty good pass. We usually talk about reception to attack when you're in the front row, but Cooper does it out of the back row.
Reagan Cooper did not start this match, but she's been a nice spark defensively, especially in the second set. Really nice pass, and then comes out of the back row, and that's a little off middle, which throws the block off of Indy.
Right side to Teeler, and is able to throw. What a delivery that time by Sydney Hilly against the flow.
Sydney Hilly is so strong, but the location of that set on the run to push it all the way behind her, really impressive.
Average pass, and she gets Teeler one-on-one. Tight, and Cece Crawford, what a dig read by Gomez, but hammered to the floor by Ajani Teeler.
What a series. Indy got ahead on this play and then open net. Ajani Teeler, exclamation point for that point.
23-21, working on Cooper. Down the line and out of bounds. Clearly wide, and now that will be set points. It'll be 3 of them. Ball's not up yet. There's some conversation going on between the 2 officials. Yeah, that ball's out of bounds. They just showed it on the big screen up top. And timeout is called by Omaha. Indy won the opening set 25-23, went out to a quick 8-2 lead. Omaha clawed their way back in, made some lineup changes to good effect, and we were tied at 20 moments ago, but then a 4-1 run for Indy.
Incredible. I mean, Indy's responded even after giving up those 4 points in a row, come up big in the red zone.
Boy, give Indy a lot of credit. Out on the road, they went 5 sets on Thursday, 15-13 in the 5th before they took out Columbus. There are the league leaders, Shampoo Goodpart out of Orlando. We saw her last night. Speaking of that, Marley Monserrat. Atlanta got a very, very big win last night after they dropped the opening set over Orlando.
Sydney Hilly's done such a nice job with his very young Indy Ignite team. She's one of the only experienced players on the court. Carly Scott as well. Ajani Teeler was a practice player last year, but has really emerged as a force to be reckoned with.
That's a wonderful story. I'm so glad you reminded me of that. Really did not have a very big role. She was, again, a practice player last year. This year, she's in the conversation, at least recently, of being the MVP. Must have for Omaha. Set point off the top, and Scott can't track it down. 1 set point saved.
Omaha Supernovas are going to have to put some service pressure on Indy right now.
Lindsay Krause out of the University of Nebraska, very well known. To say this is a volleyball hotbed would be a major understatement. De Beer in trouble. And another kill by Valentine Anderson.
Credit Lindsay Krause going right at Anna De Beer. And this one, the angle of the platform going over the net, and Natalia Valentine Anderson hovering.
Set point again. Good pass by Scott. Of course, where else are you going to go? And Ajani Teeler hammers it to the floor once again. Teeler just continuing on such a hot streak. Teams will change sides, and the first 2 sets go to the Indy Ignite. They come in with a record of 10-8, the 4th and final meeting of the year between the Supernovas of Omaha and Indy, and it has been all Omaha so far. They have won the first 3, but the teams will head into the locker room, and a very, very impressive performance right now. Sydney Hilly has been fantastic, and Ajani Teeler now has 13 kills on 21 swings and no errors, and she is standing by with our Holly McPeak.
How hard is it to come into this building and dominate the first 2 sets?
Yeah, it's hard. This place is volleyball royalty. People come out here and they care, and it's a great environment. We're kind of on fire, though, and we're having fun, so it's good.
How do you finish this match? How do you put your foot on the gas?
We have to be good and serve. We have to serve and pass, and if we do that, we're gonna out-team them, so it'll be good.
All right, thanks for your time.
Thank you, Holly. And of course, Ajani Teeler, the reigning player of the week in the Pro Volleyball Federation. A record-setting 31 kills recently to capture that honor. Now 13 kills on 21 swings. No errors, merely hitting .619. And Indy looking to pull a huge upset on the road. Well, the Indy Ignite are taking a bite out of the heart of the Omaha Supernovas fans right now, and they have adjusted very, very well to being shorthanded the rest of the year. On top of the league leaders, the Omaha Supernovas, 2-0, 25-23, 25-23. Back with 3-time Olympian, bronze medalist, and NCAA champion Holly McPeak. How surprised are you at where we stand? 2-0 for Indy coming into this building.
Indy came ready to play, and Omaha has been off since last week, so they've kind of slow start, right? They're not playing the way they normally do, especially they've been able to quiet this crowd. Indy coming in and just playing aggressive.
Yeah, playing very, very well. Lydia Martin's been good. You talked to the star of the match so far, Ajani Taylor, but maybe the star with an exclamation point is their set.
Star.
Yeah, very much so.
Sydney Hilly is a fantastic leader. The location, the way she leads this young team, next play mentality always. She's been really impressive running this offense. There you see the big block stuff, but watch the delivery to Lydia Martin, getting all her hitters in the sweet spots to score against this very strong Omaha Supernova team.
Omaha is a good block and defense team, and Sydney Hilly sets them to 290. That is way above the season average for Omaha, an adjustment they will have to make. 2-0. Omaha maybe looking for a reverse sweep, and how many reverse sweeps do we have this year?
A lot.
Maybe we're set for another. Back in Omaha, Nebraska. Set 3 about to start, and so far one of the biggest upsets potentially, given the context of no Lecator member Mene. Indy having to come out and play on the road, having played 5 sets on Thursday, taking on the hottest team in the league. Omaha had won 4 straight and 8 out of their last 9, but here they are having to force a reverse sweep, which has happened a lot in this league, to stay atop the standings. Adjustments, and what do you expect from Brooke Nuneviller and more specifically Bird Kuhn on the sideline for Omaha?
I expect Omaha to come out on fire and just find their rhythm offensively, defensively. Reagan Cooper back on the court instead of Allie Batenhorst. We saw her make some big plays in the second set, and Emily London on that right side staying on in the opposite.
Carly Scott back to serve. Indy again at 10-8. Omaha at 12-4, and that ball is out of bounds. Remember, you cannot challenge ball in or out. That is all done electronically, and the officials are conferring and making sure that Bolt 6 has got it, and wow, on the line. Good work by the officials.
Because Kayla Caffey hits that ball so fast, hard to track. She knew immediately it was in.
Need Bolt 7.
Exactly.
Caffey had a good look at it. The slide, the set behind, right down the line. Lydia Martin is slowed out of the middle. Setter taken out of the play. Smartly done by Taylor. Here is Lundad and launches that one. Awkward play. Really had to broad jump as far as she possibly could. Wasn't a bad set. She just didn't time it properly.
Yeah, the footwork just not there for Emily London. Launches that, trying to get a touch off the block.
Took a little while. That ball was so far out of bounds, took a little while to get it back in the rotation. Right back to Londot. I like that set. I like that a lot. Would you do that when you were playing at UCLA and at Cal?
Yeah, you want to give your hitter confidence. Go right back at them. Don't go away from them, because then they dwell on that air. Give her another chance to kill that ball. Twice, but next time, no.
Okay. De Beer, good response and reception. Struggled a little bit in that area, and no struggle from Ajani Taylor. My goodness, what a magnificent run for number 19 in orange.
And Taylor's been moving it around the court, that time deep cross court, away from the defense.
This has been a good point scoring rotation for Indy so far, working on Nuneviller. And Cooper is blocked by De Beer.
Camila Gomez, the libero for Omaha, was going to cover that ball, and then Reagan Cooper stuck her arm out trying to pop it up as well. But hitter coverage so important. You see Gomez there, and then the late reach out gets away from Omaha.
So good to see Anna De Beer, number 14, back on the floor. Missed the first 6 weeks of the season. Severe ankle injury in the national semifinals. Was unable to play in the championship match, and has really worked hard to get back into the lineup. Her 9th match so far on the season. Her team has played, this is their 19th match, so she missed the first 10. Cooper, good block touch by De Beer. Maybe to Crawford. Yep, Crawford on the slide. Dug by Valentine Anderson. That looked like it touched the referee's stand. We're going to have a conversation here. And we will not have a conversation because the point will go to
We
Indy.
almost had a conversation.
Almost. The officials were conferring in the middle of that rally. It looked like the play over in the left front might have been De Beer. Ball deflected off the officials' stand. The play would have been stopped if that was the case. Good pass by Gomez, and Caitlin Horde, 23 and wide out of the middle.
I would like to see that more from Omaha. They do not use their middles enough, and Caitlin Horde does the work defensively. Reward her with some nice sets, one-on-one, beating Cece Crawford down the middle.
You're so right, Hal. I'm just looking over at the coaches on the sideline for Omaha. They're going, yeah, more of that, much more of that. We're passing well enough. Perfect pass there, really good reception, and Scott sails that one well wide. She's been good, though. That's a rare mistake for 18 in orange.
Carly Scott keeps it high, tried to get a touch, bringing that angle.
Did not get much playing time early in the season, but she's going to be in there. And they have Isabel Martin. They have Nina Chajic. Right back to her. Oh, good swing. Very, very well done, both by Hilly and Scott.
Carly Scott has all the offensive tools that time. Just not too much pace, but in a great location down the line. Defense right back. She goes, catches that back line.
That's over Londot, who's a 6 foot. Oh, nice. Lucky serve by Crawford. Crawford has had a very nice match so far on the road in Omaha, particularly in the blocking phase.
As Johnny Taylor talked about, one of the keys for them is they need to keep the pressure on from the service line.
Yeah, she was pretty emphatic about that in her visit with you after the second set. That is beautifully done. What a delivery by Valentine Anderson.
Natalia Valentine Anderson has a big window. She was way behind the 3-meter line, beating Kayla Caffey on the gap ball. Look at right on that 3-meter line. Beautiful kill out of the middle.
And good job by Caffey not to give up on the play by any measure. Taylor, that's going to be her first hitting error so far on the evening. Indy thinks that there was certainly a touch. And if Ajani, let's listen.
Indy is challenging a block touch.
Yeah, announced that Indy is challenging that there was a block touch. Remember, all the way back to set point number 1. It was Indy off the top of the block. They won it 25-23. They won the second set 25-23.
I'm going to leave it to bolt 6.
Bill Stanley looking at the images from Charlotte for bolt 6. Yeah, the left index. Yep, there's a touch. That is so well done. And I love it that they're showing it in the building.
Me too.
Yeah, there's no complaint whatsoever. Nobody's booing the call or anything because there's very clear video evidence. Sydney Hilly in that 5-set match the other night, 68 assists and 11 digs. Once again, leads the league, 11.9 assists per set. Pretty good joust that time by Valentine Anderson to keep that ball off the floor at off speed. Saved by Indy. Nunaviller. Boy, Natalia Valentine Anderson and Sydney Hilly are 2 of the best in the league.
They really are, and I was isolated on Brooke Nunaviller, watching her work her footwork. She goes outside, you can't even see her on your screen. She gets really wide, keeps the ball in front of her. Good court vision for the kill.
10 kills now on 24 swings for Nunaviller. Combination play. Heavy heat. Londot hung in. She didn't bail out. That's just too much.
I might bail out or put my helmet on or something.
I would now, that's for sure, as we come to the first technical timeout. Ajani Taylor and the Indy Ignite up 2-0 on the road. Back in Omaha, and as we mentioned before first serve, the playoff picture is really starting to take shape with about 2/3 of the regular season already completed, and Indy is hanging right in there at 10-8. Omaha has some separation now away from Orlando after Orlando lost last night in Atlanta. Orlando is 12-7, Omaha 12-4. So 3 games ahead in the loss column. And there's Sydney Hilly, a master class so far on the night. Scott again working deep off the shoulder that time of Cooper. Pretty good set by Nuneviller and good high swing to restart the point. That's still alive. Nice reaction by Teeler. Nuneviller out of the back row, dug by Scott. A rare, I won't call that a defensive error. Elena Scott dug that ball beautifully, but just a little tight to the net. We're going to have another challenge. Let's listen in.
Indy is challenging a center line fault.
3-meter line foot fault is the challenge. One of the 3 faults, foot faults that are challengeable. Service line, 3-meter line. As a back row attacker, you must be completely behind the 3-meter line. First, our look.
Brooke Nuneviller's knee.
But from my understanding, and this is dangerous, of the rule, the knee, it's the foot that's the violation for safety reasons.
Yeah.
I don't think that's a violation.
I don't either.
Good challenge. Can challenge foot fault again, 3-meter line, center line, and on the service line. Yeah.
We know.
I was right. Oh my gosh. Somebody alert the media. Suzanne Lowry is going to have a conversation with the 2 captains. Not sure why, but it's okay.
Well,
it's okay.
asking for clarification.
Yeah. There was a period of time that internationally, the FIVB, the Federación Internacional de Voleibol, they didn't want any center line foot faults. Look at that, coming out of that. Lost a challenge and then the service winner. But it was just so crazy. It was really dangerous. So thank goodness they backed away from that. You got to protect the players.
Second ace from Kayla Caffey on the night.
Just look at Lekator Membre-Mene and the injury that Anna De Beer suffered. Good read. Here is Landot and blocked.
Lydia Martin, really nice defensive work to get out and close to Anna De Beer.
Lydia Martin and Cece Crawford are technically really sound. Their college coaches did a very, very good job with them. Cece Crawford at Wisconsin and Lydia Martin at Oklahoma. Oh, that's a big kill. Reagan Cooper is very, very talented.
I think the pace of that set to the left pin allows Reagan Cooper to get on that ball quickly and carve it inside the block. Brooke Nuneviller with a perfect pass. You see the wrist away. Beautiful execution.
Voted the league's rising star last year when she played in Columbus. Smartly done off the edge of the block. I like the height of that set. Give De Beer a little more time.
Give her a little time, a little lift to work it off the big block. Emily Landot's that pin blocker. And you see Sydney Hilly's on the run.
Yeah, that ball had a little more up and down to it as opposed to flat. Horde and a near collision. Hilly and Elena Scott going full out.
If Elena Scott's on your side of the net, you let her have that ball.
100%.
And don't ever doubt that she's going to get there.
I agree with that completely. It was a very well-located tip, but just give Scott the freedom and the runway to go in there. Right side to Crawford, dug by Valentine Anderson. De Beer doing a good job as a pin blocker. Good first contact by Scott. Oh, that's a wonderful push. Long range set that time. and really good in transition. Both setters showing off right now in that rally.
Carly Scott came up with a really nice dig, playing middle back defense for Indy Ignite. And Anna DeVere, even though she doesn't have all of her explosiveness, she has those tools and the experience to take some smart swings, especially in transition.
That ball on the floor. Kylie Murr came on and play some defense and go back to serve. Spent most of her career at Ohio State. Played with Mac Pedraza and Emily Londot.
A lot of traffic on the right side of the court for Omaha, and that's where Kylie Murr's going.
Tried to get another flat serve in there and came up just a little short. So we're tied at 12, but most importantly, if you're just joining us, the league leaders, Omaha, are trailing 2-0. They lost the first 25-23, lost the second 25-23, and Ajani Teeler has been spectacular. Bad pass by Murr. Scott going over the top and away from Caitlin Ward.
Killed by Scott.
Not a great pass for Indy Ignite, but Elena Scott on the court uses her hands, was a setter in high school, and that's one of the assets to having a libero that can use her hands. Look at this set, out of system, but that allows Carly Scott to take a good rip, find the deep kill.
Isabel Martin off the bench to also serve and play some defense. Nunaviller, that time off the noggin of Lydia Martin. Right side to Londot, wants to go down the line, good block touch. Teeler. Ajani Teeler, a one-legged takeoff, and there was no place else for Sydney Hilly to go.
No, Carly Scott had come into the middle of the court to pick it up. And so she only had that right side option, and Ajani Teeler gets her feet there. Wow, smart swing.
Gomez, perfect pass, back to Londot again, and another pretty good block touch, but that away from Teeler.
Carly Scott has had some nice defensive block touches, but that time Londot turns at angle.
Pretty easy serve. Scott is all over that. Smart shot by Martin. Well handled by Londot. And did Nunaviller get a piece of the block? She did not.
Good pickup by Omaha. Missed opportunity. Brooke Nunnaviller's not going to make that air very many times, but I like the idea.
Yeah. Nunaviller was off to a very, very good start offensively. Cooled a bit. 11 of 30 now with a couple of errors. Good pass by Cooper. Nunaviller on top of the net. Valentine Anderson with a good save. Better block on the outside by Teeler. What a matchup there, Nunaviller and Teeler.
I don't know how she does it. Hang time, sneaks it through the block. But Brooke Nunaviller makes a good decision to go off speed. The block is hanging, and they're just trying to get it. Here you see hanging, trying to swat, trying to do anything to keep it up.
Well, Nunaviller, the unquestioned leader of this Supernovas team. And they are up against it right now, against a hot Ajani Teeler and the Indy Ignite.
Indy, come by Teeler.
Short serve can be super disruptive, but that time Indy Ignite handle it really well.
A really big crowd on hand tonight in Omaha, but they have been kept pretty quiet and in check thanks to the outstanding performance of the Ignite, and particularly this young woman, Ajani Tee-It-Up Teeler. Franklin Sports is a proud partner of the Pro Volleyball Federation, coming your way on FS1. Welcome back inside the CHI Health Center. Second largest crowd in Supernovas history, 12,929. The largest crowd ever was back on January 10th, the beginning of this regular season, 13,486. That was against Atlanta. This is the 10th crowd of 10,000 or more in this building supporting the Supernovas and the Pro Volleyball Federation. Nicely done by Nunneviller.
Love how Brooke Nunneviller just dissects the court. The control she has when she attacks the ball, hitting right between two defenders on the other side of the net.
16-15, must-win set situation for Omaha. Good eye. Oh, an ace. Elena Scott let the ball go, and it was in. Kayla Caffey has got 3 aces so far on the night.
When she gets a hold of it, it's flat, has tons of pace, a lot like her attack.
Doing her best at Natalie Foster impersonation out of Orlando, the young rookie from SMU who's leading the league by a long way in aces. Oh, what a dig. I like the choice. Valentine Anderson, you know, she's having fun.
She was 2 for 2.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to stay aggressive on that opportunity, but how about the dig by, first of all, by Nunneviller, and then Reagan Cooper gets on that fast. Carly Scott, perfect location, goes over the net, and Valentine Anderson tries to do too much with it.
Lydia Martin back to serve. Once again, if you weren't with us earlier, wears the Q collar as a and an ace. A preventative measure against further concussion. Boy, some middle blockers in the PVF are really doing a good job from the service line.
And they're serving that midi ball that has some pace, drops middle of the court. It's not really deep, not short. Tough ball to pass.
The rookie out of Oklahoma leading the entire league in hitting efficiency at .372. Perfect pass by Nunneviller. Cooper off the edge of Ajani Taylor and out of bounds. Much needed first ball side out for Omaha.
Omaha has to dial up some defensive stops to create some space.
Taylor is in the right front, leading all attackers. We'll give you that number in just a moment. Short serve, where else are you going to... Ajani Taylor, oh, and she's blocked. Caitlin Horde along with Cooper.
Omaha knew that ball was going to Taylor, and Reagan Cooper does her job. That pin blocker, number 8 in white, sets up, she's over the net, and then Caitlin Horde closes the block.
30th swing, first hitting error for Ajani Taylor. That is remarkable. Good pass by DeBeer. Right back to her and off the edge.
Taylor got blocked, and she went right back to her team and said, hey, next play, no big deal.
70-43 on Thursday in that 5-set win at Columbus. 31 kills versus the same Omaha team in their last meeting that went 5 sets. Londot, the one time she hits on the left side. Nice play by Scott. Oh, what an effort. That ball should not have gone down, but Elena Scott, it is hard to keep a fantastic libero down.
Elena Scott dug that first ball. Watch her change directions. Ajani Taylor was right back, and she was getting her approach to hit that ball
exactly
in transition.
Right, Holly.
Somebody else has to step in and
100%. Beautiful swing into the perfect area. Indefensible for DeBeer.
And that's why Anna DeBeer, even though she's not 100% is in there, she presents stability with her serve receive, and then she manages her offense, taking smart swings for the Indy Ignite.
5 kills now on 16 swings for DeBeer. Just her 9th match back after missing the first 10. Perfect pass by Gomez. What a dig. Fantastic dig. That was DeBeer again. Valentine Anderson, fantastic reaction. And the ball is blocked. Really good play by Indiana. Good play by Valentine Anderson.
Look at that dig by Anna DeBeer, stands her ground, and then Natalia, too tight in transition to Brooke Nunneviller.
Coming to Londot, pretty conservative on that particular play. Taylor's not going to be conservative. That ball's still alive. Covered by Scott. Huge chance here. Taylor again and missed it out of bounds.
Really impressive defense. Anna DeBeer coming up with some nice digs for the Indy Ignite, but Taylor finally misses.
Lindsay Krause coming on once again, served well in a very brief performance, or brief appearance, I should say, in the second set. 21-20. must win for Krause and Omaha. They're 12-4, first place right now in the PVF. Orlando in second place at 12-7. Timeout is called by Indy to talk this one over. Obviously a very critical juncture. And speaking of where these teams stand, remember at the end of the regular season, each team will have played 28 matches, and here we are right now. Atlanta got a big win last night over Orlando. Orlando had won 9 in a row, Holly. Now they've lost 3 out of 4. Adora Anai has not been available. They've had some other issues. Indy Ignite hanging right in, and then it will be Vegas, who ended that 7-match losing streak, or Grand Rapids to fill out the field of 4.
And with about 10 matches to go, 9 or 10 matches, you want to be in that top 4 for a chance to play for that $1 million.
Johnny Taylor now with a cool 50 kills in the last couple of matches, just playing at an incredibly high level, and so clean. 30 swings before she made her first error against a defense that is stacked to slow her down. Omaha right back in it, trailing 21-20.
Omaha needs to dial up some defensive stops right now.
Good pass by Scott on the slide and off speed. Indy's going to get another look, and not a good one. Nice dig by Taylor. And Anna De Beer out of the back row. Fantastic dig. Ball was called out of bounds. Big swing that time by Brooke Nunneveller, and it looked like she landed a little awkwardly.
Brooke Nunneveller crushed that ball. She wanted it sharp. That was a close one.
That is a big swing. Sharing a moment with her coach, Laura Bird-Kuhn, who is Brooke Nunneveller. She is the president of the Nunneveller fan club, and rightfully so. Super hard worker, good talent, wonderful talent, actually. That was a break for Indy. 3 points away from an incredible sweep on the road. Right back to Nunneveller, and she's blocked. 2 points away.
Sydney Hilly, Lydia Martin doing their job defensively, being really disciplined with their hands. You have to be quick over the net to stop Brooke Nunneveller. Sydney Hilly, left hand right on that seam.
What an impressive performance. I know this one's not in the barn yet, so to speak, but for Indy to come in on the road after 5 tough sets against Columbus on Thursday night, and they come in, they know that their season as far as Lecator Membramena is over. I'm very, very impressed with what this Ignite team has done so far in the evening.
I am too. I think, you know, it's a new chapter. This is the team that they're going to go to battle with, and maybe Omaha didn't expect them to come out with this kind of a fight. Last time they met, it was a reverse sweep on Indy's floor for Omaha.
That Omaha pulled it out.
Correct.
Yeah, the first 2 matches were 3-0, and the last was 3-2. That last match was on March 13th. This is the 4th and final meeting of the year, and as you rightly point out, Holly, that was a reverse sweep, so maybe Omaha's got them right where they want them, although I think they would prefer it a little closer than 23-20. Crawford has been really good. The music was still playing, so they're going to restart the point. Cece saying, that's a good thing. I've got a better serve than that. Trying to get the ball on Reagan Cooper in the middle of the reception. Pretty good pass right back to Landot. Same thing. And down the line. Really, really clutch swing.
Emily Landot, high contact point, brings the heat down the line. We know that's her favorite swing, but you got to stand in there and take the heat.
Both setters have been really, really good. Valentine Anderson, perfect delivery. 23-21. Easy serve right to De Beer. Scott through the seam. That serve did not have anything on it at all to challenge De Beer.
When these two teams know each other like this, you have to serve so aggressive, get them out of system, because they know the tendencies.
Match point number 1. This goes down as a shocker if Indy's able to close it out, especially with the context of where they are. That falls almost down. Free ball coming to Indy for the win. Into the middle to Lydia Martin. That is such an impressive performance by the visitors from Indy. Very impressive.
Indy came in with a chip on their shoulder, and they really did not back off. They served aggressive, and led by Ajani Teeler and Sydney Hilly running a great offense. They were fantastic tonight. Yeah, just a tremendous performance. All credit to Indy, and Omaha will look at this and say, well, we just didn't play up to the level that we had shown. Remember, Omaha had won 4 in a row and 8 out of their last 9, and Indy comes in having lost 3 straight to Omaha and wins 3 straight, 25-23, 25-23, and 25-21. Very, very impressive performance indeed. Yeah, I'm to take nothing away from Indy. I'm very, very surprised because Omaha's level was very high, and Ajani Teeler just continues to be superb. Omaha coming in for their 1 match of the week, right? And we're just not as sharp as they normally are. Yeah, I agree with that. And Ajani Teeler, once again, just a tremendous performance. As we take a look at the updated standings, Omaha loses for the 5th time on the year. Orlando is there, and so are the Indy Ignite. They are right there indeed. What a big win at 11-8. And the architect of all of this, Sydney Hilly, is joining us now courtside. You know this building, you know these fans. You won a championship here with the Supernovas last year, but congratulations on a stunning win given the circumstances.
Yeah, thank you. And I love playing at Omaha. The fans are incredible. Like, makes me miss this environment. It's so fun, and just the attendance they had and the energy they had was really fun. But I'm so proud of our team. This is a big win for us on the road. So hopefully we can keep that rolling. What was the mindset coming into this building and playing one of the best teams in the league? Yeah, we're just trying to stay aggressive the whole match and try to have fun, because we know that this team's really good and they're going to get their kills and their blocks, but we got to be able to move on to the next point quickly and not let 1 point impact further down the game.
What was the conversation inside the team recently when you learned that Member Mena would be out for the rest of the season?
Obviously, that's a huge loss for us, but thankfully, we've been talking about being 16 strong the whole year, that it's going to take every single one of our people to help win. If we want to achieve all of our goals, it's going to take every single one of the people on our team, and we have a lot of depth, so I'm really proud of all our outsides for stepping up and working so hard every single day. What's it like being the one veteran on this team? It's really weird. Compared to last year, I was one of the youngest people on the team. Now I'm one of the oldest, so we got a lot of rookies, but they're really mature, and they're growing so much just throughout the season.
Just one more very quickly. What about Ajani Teeler? You better bottle that.
She's unreal. It is so fun to play with her, and she's such a good teammate, so I'm so proud of her, so happy for her.
Sydney, congratulations. Thanks. 3-0 in Omaha, and you'd lost the 3 previous meetings. The last one was tough, but this was a very, very impressive performance indeed. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, a big crowd here in Omaha is going to go home disappointed, and you can thank the red-hot Indy Ignite for that, win in 5 sets on Thursday, and then come out on the road, even shorthanded, with one of the top players in the league. And thanks to Sydney Hilly and Ajani Teeler and a team effort, they close it out 3-0. That'll do it from Omaha. Once again, the Indy Ignite take the match. The Pro Volleyball Federation action on Fox Sports continues. March 30th, we head to Vegas, where they will take on the San Diego Mojo. Visit the Thrill on FS2. For Holly McPeak and our entire crew, I'm Paul Sunderland. Have a good evening. Once again, the Indy Ignite come into Omaha and shock the PVF with a 3-0 win.